J.R. Hendrick, Texan consort, and a gentleman, podcast of the early life of yours truly in a narrative commentary. Okay, this is, we're probably going to call this J.R. Hendrick Southwest. J.R. Hendrick, Captain Swainfield. Can't think of a better word for it. So, March 9th and 10th. Got to find the corresponding journal entry that goes with it. I believe that's right, yes. Okay, now, we're going to go ahead and cover 9:10 p.m. Dave Smith runs into... Okay, no, it's beforehand. 7:35 p.m. My community fields, Adam Plummer packing JR's bags when the cell phone rings. It's Jennifer. Listen, JR, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to talk to you for the next several days. Workload at Goldman Sachs is getting heavier. I'll talk to you Tuesday. And JR's like, no, I don't think so, Jennifer. Just let me move on. Okay, Mike Fields walks over to JR. JR, man, hang up the phone. Focused on getting cleaned up in your best suit. The limo is leaving at 11:30 tonight from the condo. Okay. JR takes a bath. Ken McDonald helps him. Gets fitted up in one of his nicest suits. Once that JR even knows his grandmother would approve. He's thinking about Allison, who's obviously going to now be joining him in New Orleans. Okay, 9:10 p.m. Dave Smith runs into the dorm living room and asks Kevin McDonald, sees him by himself, says, "Man, where's JR?" And he says, "Man, Mike Fields loaded up his crap and they got him at the condo." And he says, "Look, I just got a call from my dad. He's sending me to Salt Lake and New Orleans from Dallas. I've got to meet that limo tonight. So everything will be okay." So Dave Smith rushes out. It's 11:20 a.m. You gotta picture this, okay? Here's a big old limo liner. Shows up JR's woke up in that snaffle suit. He sees Kyle in the limo. He sees Kyle. Mike, please explain why I have to travel with him. Your father says he would like for the two of you to try to get along. Lovely, Jared said, getting into the limo. Okay, so it's 11:30. The limo came rolling away from the condo. Dave Smith's on there as well. Towards the highway and away from Lubbock, Texas, and head towards Big Springs. Now Kyle's playing this song. Let's talk about sex for Salt and Pepper. When he reached he reaches across and shuts off Jared's computer. Shut off your stupid computer light, Kyle says. Why don't you turn down your damn music and come up here and make me? Jared said. Okay, so the driver, Jose Ortiz, Bustamante, he says, por favor. Llevarse bien. We all got to get off this thing to refuel it before JR's other limo comes. So JR's like, oh, great. And you can see he's furious at his dad. 1 p.m. It's disbelief, okay? They pull up, and JR notices, and they stop at a truck stop in Big Spring. And everybody had to get off. Walking in and seeing Kyle, Klingon and Madison, George and Andrew was a sight. So Jared's like, oh my God, man. What's milk of humankind is going to make me puke after what he's done to me and everything. And he's going to be on the road in 6 hours to go to that rodeo in Junction. He's going to start treating him like crap. Okay, so Dave Smith sees what's going on. And so he's like, hey, JR, come on. He senses that JR is wanting to bolt. Go back to things with Charlie Nation. And so he plays In Christ Alone by Michael East England. So they sat down and shared some pizza, you know. But the thing was that he was selected to join the effects of Ken and others to see, you know, to see to it that I didn't call Charlie, that Gerald doesn't call Charlie at all. They don't want him calling Charlie at all. Okay. 1:45 a.m. JR was overjoyed to see a nicer silver limousine and a slightly older man who was about 53 years old. A man by the name of Roger Miller, hired by Mike Fields, and JR's father, to take them to the DFW airport. What JR don't know is that Allison is on the limo. She got on the limo from Lubbock later than JR and got there in time so that she could fly to New Orleans and he could fly to Dallas. To Salt Lake. 2 a.m. With a nice, low, but peppery voice, Roger fired up the logistics, the stretch limo, and it went on down the line, leaving Big Spring, bound for DFW Airport. 5 a.m. Central. At the Hendrick Suite of the Hyatt Regency, Claude pours some Everclear in the glass. Jim is on the phone to JR, but it goes to voicemail. JR, it's Daddy. Jim says, listen, if you get this, call me. Contact your mama and Christine, please, son, and try to get along with Kyle. Claude takes a drink out of the glass. Try to get along with Kyle. An impossibility. Just have a snort. So, Claude's taking a huge old swig from that, from that glass, and Jim's like, hell, what's wrong with you? And Claude says, oh, now, Jim, come on. You just moved on the ranch with your in-laws and your little family. And right before Thanksgiving, we go to the old man, oil man of America's convention in Oklahoma City. And we got drunk, Everclear. On that night, He takes another swig. When Janet, his wife, walks up and grabs the glass from him, slapping him. Never ever clear. So, Claude's laughing his butt off. Wow, sorry. This good Lord, Claude said. As, Jim's laughing. Come on, mocking his friend. Jim, do you want to have a beer? Man, I'm sorry I don't have Bud Light. He's Bud cold, Jim said. Okay. Solace is fine. You guys in the town, I'll ask you, what the hell are you going to be doing today while Betsy and I are going to be at the crusade? Partners for mine to get the partners to remember their place, remember their platforms. That's you just keep doing that same old field. I ain't serving you too well. And you know that, don't you? And you know that pretty damn well. Oh, make good laugh. I see what DC has done to you. And that's why I brought you to Abilene. If you remember correctly, you sitting there talking to Congress when thinking that you're gonna get your way. I think you're in trouble. Being manifested in obvious right now. Being also manifest right now is insipid. No, man. Neither you or some of the idiots we hang out with seem to have any balance. Balance? You fell apart. I mean, you're in D.C. You are so brain fried. Oh, mister, I only have press conferences 2 or 3 times a month. Other than that, go confess to your reverend, and then go cheat on your wife. Man, buddy, go get some help. You're always sitting in the cry, wondering Your marriage are just falling apart. While your kids don't want nothing to do with you. Listen to the same man here. Stop having an anus for a brain. Claude's been the patriarch's best friend, telling him how it is. You're funny as hell, Claude. But, alright. Then, I'll give it a try. They toast each other. And then, take some sips from the beer. I like your honesty in that. Now, I spoke to Cadence, Claude said. Jim breathes in a sigh of relief. Good. Because of your appointment, you can't do much about this, Jim. But without O'Neill coming along, the Bottomless Lake project is in trouble. And he has no qualms in bringing us. And that's why the damn trip to Abilene. Claude loses it. Predictable, Jim. Predictable. I had to keep you out of D.C. Keep the Clinton idiots from sniffing what I want to do with Bottomless Lake. And that's why you're with me. What's that got to do with what's going on in Tallahassee this weekend? We got a chance to meet them in the air tonight. I want you and Cadence on point to negotiate things. Okay, we get to fast forward. Praise the Lord. 6 a.m. Limo pulls up to the airport, and everybody gets their luggage and gets out. Okay, guys, yeah, this is where you all get off. I've got to pick up a client in Abilene. JR races into the airport. And breezes through security. And Ken's stepfather, Bill Moorhead, shows up. If I were you, I wouldn't start working for your father after college right away. I would suggest being a director of some political communications firm. Okay, this is the beauty part. 6:25 a.m. Janet elects to work and stay behind until the 13th in Abilene. So Jim, Claude, and Cadence end up flying off getting on the plane to Tallahassee. 6:55 a.m. Central. The first Hendrick private jet takes off from Dallas-Fort Worth, bound for Tallahassee. 7:45 a.m. J.R., Ken, and Dave Smith board the private jet. Slated to take them to Salt Lake. Allison was grabbing breakfast before she would check in at the gate at 10:30 for her 12:40 departure from Dallas to New Orleans. Okay. 10 a.m. Mountain. JR had just walked in to the UCC convention when his cell phone rings. It's Betsy. Mama, what are you doing calling me now? Well, I was wanting to see if you made it. I love you, Mama. Thanks for caring. Betsy could tell that her son was still downcast. Well, yeah, it's pretty easy, you know. His dad has had the power go over his head. But what Jared's friends really want to tell him is, hey, you're Captain Swainfield. You know, think about it. You're right, you're supposed to be riding high. 1:20 p.m. Eastern. In Tallahassee, Jim is meeting with Assemblies of Christ Pilgrim promoter Bishop Jordan Craig to talk about the importance of the crusade. 2:15 p.m. Mountain. At the UCC convention in Salt Lake, Olivia Morbstrom Johns, a public affairs consultant from Cedar City, joined by her husband, Elder, talk about the issue of marriage and family values. Someone sitting next to him and Ken had a picture of Jennifer Bowers with a young British financier named Greg Osborne, Junior CFO for Goldman Sachs. JR takes the page and rips it out of the dude's hands. 5 p.m. Eastern. Jim and Betsy have burger shop for dinner. Compliments of singer Johnny Cash, who would be singing at the Billy Graham Crusade. 10 p.m. Mountain. The UCC convention ended at about 5, and JR and Ken and Dave Smith went to the mansion where they had pasta primavera, which had hamburger meat, mushrooms, onions, garlic, and eggplant. Fried eggplant. Tomorrow, JR would have breakfast with Senator Orrin Hatch. The convention would begin at 11 despite the driving snow. Okay, so this is going to be pretty interesting. Okay, so now we got to find so okay, I guess this is it. Okay. 2:15 a.m. Mountain. With Ken and Dave asleep, JR goes into the kitchen of the Salt Lake Mansion and asks Kurt, the night servant, to pour him a Sprite so he can take his thyroid pills. He wants to have breakfast at 7 with Senator Hatch, Orrin Hatch at Priscilla's, a private exclusive club for premium members of the Utah Conservative Coalition. 3:05 a.m. Mountain. Sitting in the living room, JR calls Brad, who he knows is up at this hour. You know, I can't believe it. Your dad sends Jim Bob off to that convention, and you don't go. You're tooling around with Ken. Get this, Brad. Jim Bob was being an annoyance, and I shouldn't have to. To cover his tracks regarding NFB. We've had this discussion before. You got a bone to pick with somebody. Pick it with Daddy. And let me tell you something. You don't want to pick it with Daddy. He's ruthless and hard. Call you tomorrow when I get to the airport. Hanging up the phone, JR's resolved anger at Brad returns. Yes, Brad had been assuring when Jennifer turned him down. But now, he was being snarky. Really snarky. And JR don't like him snarky. Now, I'm kind of like, what is this? 7 a.m. Eastern. Jim is having breakfast with Reverend Wayne Keller, a Church of Christ minister from Keller, Texas. And they talked about the importance of faith and family, particularly in small business. Karen warned Jim that today Jack Robertson would be releasing a statement of the legal knowledge he knows about the Whitewater controversy. Woo! Interesting. 7:20 a.m. Mountain. JR is having pancakes for breakfast with Senator Orrin Hatch. Your father's faith-based initiatives bill is very popular. I'd give anything if I can get it to pass the Senate. But we have one Republican and 4 Democrats who want it filibustered. We try to get as much votes as we can. But the more we can get, most as we can get is 56. So that means we need to get one of these 5 senators to come off the fence. And sadly, that's not likely. I'm having lunch with Cordell Wheeler this week. I'm going to try to get him to move toward our side. Senator Hatch spoke up. Cordell is not so easy to convince. He has to see the data in willingness. Or he's going to vote it down. Well, I'm sure I'm going to try. But that go back convention in New Orleans is going to make the difference. 10 a.m. Eastern. Jim and Betsy and most of the family is in box seating at the Billy Graham Crusade in Tallahassee. The crusade will not start until 11 a.m. And Jim looks anxiously around for Amy Kathleen, only to find her sitting in more prestigious seating. Well, yeah, she's with her boyfriend, Greg, the rich Presbyterian ministerial family. 11 a.m. Mountain. The second day of the Utah conservative coalition convention is in full swing. During the keynote for the second day, commencement of the convention, was Senator Orrin Hatch. Pretty interesting here. 2:10 p.m. Eastern. The morning session of the crusade was a hit, but it was lost on Jim, who had to deal with the rebellious Christine. Jim knows within the next 2 weeks he has to deal with his daughter the best way he knows how. Yeah, most likely, most once and for all. 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Cesar Neves, a televangelist from Las Vegas, preached against hell and called the crowd to revival. 2 p.m. Mountain. Fritz Dolph, a consultant from Cedar City, Utah, talked about not compromising on conservative principles. 3:45 p.m. Mountain. The afternoon session of the convention being over, JR and Ken are being driven back to the mansion in the driven snow. Now, later on that night, what do you think that they have? Filet mignon. And why do you think that they would have that? Well, it's pretty obvious. It's a star-studded It's a star-studded reception. Everybody is just, you can imagine what Here we go. No. Here we go. March 12th. We're not going to cover everything. We're going to cut. It's probably going to be a short one if I know correctly. "8 a.m. JR and Ken have breakfast in the mansion, getting ready to enjoy what could be a good day. A really good day. 12 p.m. Mountain. Since Ken is watching the ordination of Gordon B. Hinckley in the Salt Lake Temple with Dave Smith, Joseph Fauci takes JR to watch it in the Salt Lake Tabernacle. You gotta think. He gets asked by, he gets called by, he gets invited by Bill Clinton to watch this powerful ordination. Now, Clinton knows that none of these can really see it physically, but they can watch it, and JR can watch it in the tabernacle. That's the beautiful part. 4 p.m. Mountain. Glenn gets a shuttle together to drive JR and Ken to the airport. But JR is informed that the flight will not leave until about 9:30 tonight. That's okay. What do you think that they're doing? You see, while his dad's watching, is being a part of the Billy Graham crusade, he's taking little Thomas, who is 5, who's agreed to go with Jim down an altar call to accept Christ into his heart. And Jim is crying. So this has got to be making a difference. So JR's kind of like just enjoying whatever he can. So, 8 p.m. JR and Ken are on the plane, okay? They got it ready for fueling and all that stuff. So they're having prime rib on the jet, okay? You gotta think about it, okay? Prime rib, and baked potato and asparagus. And, of course, Sprite and orange juice, the little cocktail. So they're like, yeah, let's do this. 9:30. p.m. The private jet taxis down the runway and departs for New Orleans, where they would get there at 1 o'clock. Now, Bill Moorhead, their stepfather, will pick them up at the time. Now, he ain't too happy about that, I know. and he's working as a representative for American Airlines. Jim's kind of pulling this, for the sake of JR, right? And you gotta think about this. What's he gonna do? His first day, March 13th, he's going to go to the GoPack convention. He's not going to be able to meet with Allison outright. But that's okay. He knows that. Then there's, he bumps into her the 14th. Okay. They have breakfast. They agreed to sit there together during the convention in New Orleans. JR is basically being there to be note taker for her daddy. Now, let's go to March 15th. Right? Now, it's March 15th. It's 7 a.m. in New Orleans. Limo has driven JR up to the mansion of Senator Cordell Wheeler. The woman at the door, she notices, "You must be Jim Hendrick's boy." "You need to understand something about my husband, Cordell. His bark is worse than his bite. Back in the spring of 1992, I warned him about such behaviors, that it would cost him the election. Guess he never really calmed down. But people in Louisiana love him because he's spicy. Come on in, JR. Have a choice of oatmeal or cinnamon toast. Why don't you sit down and we could talk?" "Senator, I'm not here to represent my father. You have to know that." Relax. Not everybody hates your father. If you can be good to him, then he can be good to you. The faith-based initiatives for small business will fill the Senate. Lord knows. Sure, that has nothing to do with my father. The senator picks up his pen. Since you're not a press guy, anyway, why don't I just go ahead and tell you? If you want me to support faith-based initiatives for small business, you're going to have to move over for a small business ultimately wants to become a casino. That's going to be a problem. With focus groups. Then you may have some liquor stores, but it's small business. Except for maybe a few faith-based groups, that won't fly. And a small massage parlor, I'm sorry, Sonny, but I just don't see how that's gonna get them that much interested. So Jared's eating his breakfast thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. And Jared's like, the House of Representatives took 5 tries to get it to pass. I think you should at least consider that. The senator gives a stern look. Look, Sonny, I'm sorry. But I talked to Congressman William Jefferson in the House, and he said, he's glad to test it. But there's just too many errors, too many problems. And besides, President Clinton wouldn't sign it anyway. Having finished his food, JR gets up from his chair. Is that the only reason why you won't support this deal? Just because Bill Clinton won't sign it? Suddenly Wheeler's complexion turns ice cold as he turns to JR. I have already told you my reason. 7:20 a.m. Central. JR walks out towards the limousine and walks in. George, the driver, approaches him. The senator usually dines with someone a lot longer than this. What happened? Difference between him and my father. Besides that, I don't care. Take me back to the mansion. Nine twenty-two a.m. Eastern. Having received the news that Senator Wheeler turned down his son's bid, Jim decides to reach out for someone in the Oil Reserve Department at the Department of Energy, former owner of West Wing Oil. No one just want to say he was able to get Jerry Westling to consider blocking some contracts in Abilene between Wheeler and Claude. "1 p.m. Eastern. In Washington, D.C., Jim is working only at his basic official duties, asking Carol Stringer to do the press conference of the day. 1 p.m. Central. JR returns back from the convention with hope and encouragement. No longer focused on his father's pet projects, he figured in the refocusing of his scope of his internship, namely, refining the message of the Small Business Administration on the local level. He knows the others, like Drs. Harmons and Kinghorn, considers father to be a maverick, but they would find his message a bit more moderate. 3:35 p.m. In the front lounge of the mansion, Jim gets a call from Andy Braddock saying Claude moved into Our Lady of Unity Church. Asking for the crew to meet with him tomorrow. "I'll message Cadence," Jim said. 5 p.m. Central. At the mansion, Ken's family dined of Chateau Royale soup with garlic leeks. However, JR decided to have a steak with scalloped potatoes and asparagus. Bill Moorhead heard today on the Society page that Senator Cordell Wheeler was going to be flying back to Washington, D.C. tomorrow, minus his wife. Apparently, the ne'er-do-well senator has done very little to pass any legislation other than NAFTA. Something with no doubt was dividing conservatives in Louisiana. 7:15 p.m. Eastern. With the help of Amy Kathleen Forever and the staff, Jim gets the house ready for the round of receptions starting tomorrow with Barbara Holland, then Jack Robertson, and then Scotty Underwood. March 16th. Waking up at night and looking over at Ken's sister's place. It was easy to find a copy of the Society page. Even though his father was holding little Thomas, Mike Thomas, in front of the Village Graham, which was an obvious photo. One of the top lines was about Jim's multiple affairs. Okay. 4 a.m. Central. Bill Moorhead, dressed in his airport dress, blues, takes his keys and leaves for the New Orleans International Airport. Ken had learned yesterday that his mom and Bill were flying to North Carolina to see his brother Chance. So they said it was the okay for Ken to spend Easter weekend with JR at the Hendrick residence in Gainesville. Okay, 5:30 a.m. Eastern in Washington, D.C. Jim is getting ready for his 8 a.m. meeting with his dream team. He's pleased to know was that Dave Rosenberg had finally calmed down The whole team seemed to be working well together. "8 a.m. Central. The Mansion Baker brought in JR some donuts as he got ready to head off towards to go back to the convention. The convention would be over today. Tomorrow he was looking forward to playing Monopoly with Ken, especially what he likes to call it his country pepper version of the game, where if he's losing assets, he comes poor-mouthing like an idiot. Ken always noticed that something like that usually would work, but often it would not. 8:45 a.m. Central. The first speaker on stage was a young conservative congressman from Louisiana, Brad Hobart, born in DeRidder, Louisiana, with a business bachelor's from Loyola University in New Orleans, an MBA from Cornell University, and a DBA from Harvard University. So some might question whether or not he was conservative. 1 p.m. Central. JR and Ken are watching some of the last leg of the convention. Seth Ridley, professor of economics at Tulane University, about a potential hike in gas prices by certain members of the Clinton administration. 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Jim was informed that Barbara Harlem is fighting with her husband. She has a position to go on the date with Supreme Court attorney Peter Bedford. Such a thing really did intrigue Jim Hendrick. 5 p.m. Eastern. The reception is pretty obvious. And Jim's shocked when he learns that Barbara Harlem and Peter Bedford both child's beard is the drink of choice. Whoa. Okay. March 17th, 5:15 a.m. Eastern. Jim realizes how much he has angered Claude, and Claude announces that he is returning to West Texas. To work on his upcoming marriage. 5:15 p.m. Central. JR and Ken have finished packing and now are sitting in the mansion waiting for the 7 p.m. meal. A choice of either beef merlot, and mac and cheese mashed hamburger. Think JR's gonna pick those. Ladder down. 9 a.m. Eastern. Jim holds a meeting with some of his staff, holds in his own office. 1:20 p.m. Central. JR and Ken returned back from Webster's, an American steakhouse. They didn't have all the Cajun seasoned stuff. 2 p.m. Central. JR had heard that Kevin McDonald was going to be meeting him at the airport, and that they were going to Mr. Caddy's Pizza for tomorrow night. 3 p.m. Eastern. Jim's working with the mansion's cooks for his steak dinner with Jack Robertson tonight. 6 p.m. Eastern. A 4-course steak dinner takes place I'll make a long story short. This is dragging on longer than it needs to be. Sunday morning, JR and Ken pack up their bags. They join Ken's parents at the airport. They all fly together to Dallas. JR and Ken sit together. Okay. Dallas. JR sits with Ken. No. JR has a long layover. And then he goes, and then he gets a chance to meet with Dave Smith meets him at the airport. Dave McDonald picks him up, and a group of the guys get to have some pizza. and the rest is history. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan. Gentlemen, if you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. Get a little bit more interesting.